Alright guys, welcome to the video. My name is Jason, and you're probably wondering, why am I sitting on Google? What does that have to do with getting out of your timeshare? And actually, Google in itself, not much, but it's what people do. So typically what you're going to find, and maybe you've done this, if you're trying to get out of your timeshares, you're going to come to Google, and you're going to type something along the lines of, how to get out of my timeshare. And bear with my spelling here. And you're going to hit search. And again, bear with me if the volume's a little bit shaky or maybe the screen's a little bit shaky. I am screen capturing this on my iPad. So if you're watching it on an iPhone or an iPad, it will probably be clearer than if you're watching it right on the YouTube platform. But nonetheless, the information will be identical. So just bear with the shakiness. But you're probably going to come to Google and type something along the lines of how to get out of my timeshare. Okay, and there's a lot of information here that you can go through, and it's literally endless. Okay, but one of the things that you probably don't see, and it's probably on the top of your mind, is you're probably wondering, can you sell your timeshare? Okay, and so that's what a lot of people are going to start out doing. They're start out trying to sell, and that is where they're going to run into problems, because what you're not going to see, and you can see there's ads up here, and I don't have a mouse pointer, but you can follow along with me scrolling down the screen. Let me just readjust that there for you. You can follow along, and you're going to see ads at the top, and you got ads at the bottom, and you got all this information in between. But you're not going to see something that's a piece of vital information, not only for getting out of your timeshare, but when it comes to selling your timeshare. Okay, and that is, you're not going to see that there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of timeshares for sale, and specifically, you're not going to see the number one timeshare listing site on planet Earth, which is eBay.com. So you probably heard of eBay. Well, according to stats, and this is of the time of this video, and this video here we're releasing in 2019, at least as of this time, eBay is the number one site for listing timeshares. It's where people go, and we can readily see just how many people are on eBay listing their timeshare. So we can type in something along the lines of, timeshares for sale. All right. And this is directly pertinent if you are trying to get out of your timeshare, and specifically if you're trying to sell your timeshare. Okay. So what you have to understand is that, again, there are thousands upon thousands, and we'll scroll through. These listings update, so I encourage you to check it out for yourself. They update every day. All right. And I'm not going to spend any time, but you can see, there's nice properties here listed, and I'm going to come back to the pricing here in a second. So just give me 1 second. I'm just going to scroll down through, and this is just the first page. See, and they go on and on and on and on and on until you get to the bottom, and then we can go all the way up to the 10th page, and actually it doesn't end on the 10th page. I didn't check what page it ends on, but it probably ends up over 1,000, because there are thousands upon thousands of timeshares listed for sale. All right, and you can see some of these people, and again, these are individuals trying to list their timeshare. Sometimes it's companies trying to list timeshares, but you can see, a lot of these places are incredibly nice, but they're basically trying to give these things away. Okay, so the opening bid on this one, I just clicked. Let's go and take a look at it. The opening bid, the starting bid is $1. That means they're going to allow you to bid on this just if you bid over $1 for this timeshare unit. Okay, and you can see it's nice. These are nice properties, and we go on and on and on here. But long story short, if you're trying to get out of your timeshare, by selling, statistics show that I believe now it's less than 1% of timeshares actually resell. And isn't that the mistake that we make? Because we don't have that information. At least your average owner does not have that information. Your average owner has been told that they can sell their timeshare and try to recoup some of that initial investment. So I'm not exactly sure what you have invested. Maybe it's 10,000, 20,000. We see people with outstanding bills still of over $50,000 or even higher for timeshares, that they bought 10, 20, 30 years ago. And let's be honest, back in the 80s or even slightly before, timeshare was a good thing. But nowadays, the reason why you're seeing all these people try to get out of their timeshare is obviously for the same reason that you're trying to get out. Nobody wants the fees. They don't want to be forced into paying every year to be forced to go on vacation. Especially given, and let me go right here, that we have this thing called the internet. And specifically, websites like Expedia, and that's just one of dozens where I can go, and I'm not going to get into any big depth on this, but you can come to websites like Expedia, Kayak is another one. There's endless amounts of them where you can book really cheap vacations, and you can go anytime you want to go for very low prices. And that's the benefit. You're not tied in to a yearly fee, special assessments, and your average maintenance fees now, they're right around $1,000. More specifically, it's probably somewhere in the range of $800 to $1,200 for your average timeshare owner. Okay, so that is why people want out, and the reason you're seeing so many listings here, okay, and endless people just offering bids, any bids over $1, to consider it, and you can come to eBay and look at it, is because nobody wants to pay their fees anymore, specifically because we have this thing called the internet and incredibly cheap vacations which can be had. Okay, so if you're trying to get out by selling, my point is simple. I'm not going to tell you not to do that. Again, in rare instances, it's possible, but more so than not, for the average person, it is going to be impossible to sell your timeshare. I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but it is in fact the truth, because you have thousands upon thousands of incredibly nice properties that people are essentially trying to give away. All right, and let me go back here real quick just to the front page of eBay. I want to explain one last thing to you, and then better off just to come out, bear with me here, come out to the front and explain one more thing here. So we'll type in there we go, we got it up. And again, I am shooting this screen capture on my iPad, so bear with me if the volume is a little bit shaky or if the screen is. But you see, okay? So a lot of these properties are incredibly nice. And so you may be thinking to yourself, well, I have a nice property. That people should want this. And it's not that people don't want to go to the place you have. I'm sure some of you own by the beach, have amazing pools in tropical settings. It's not that people don't want that, but let's get right down to the brass tacks of something very fundamental. People definitely want to go on vacations in these places, but what they don't want is the maintenance fees. Okay, they don't want to be stuck in your fee, and that's really what you own when you own a timeshare, and nobody will ever convince me different. Okay, timeshare is not really property ownership. Basically, you have ownership in open air, so to speak. All right, you're basically paying yearly, again, up around $1,000 a year for open air, and nobody wants that. People would love to visit the property, but they don't want that open air contract that they're sucked into. So that is why you're going to have a hell of a time not only trying to get out of your timeshare, but trying to sell your timeshare. It's why for the average person, going that route is next to impossible. Now, okay, I will open up 1 second, and that's a picture of me there up in the corner. I'll click on that real quick so you can see. There's a few of them actually of me, but there's me. Again, free from vacationfees.com. Let me go into my notes here real quick. Okay, so if you're wondering how to get out of your timeshare, and just bear with it, we're coming up here. Okay, 1 second. Okay, let me click on that right there. I'm not sure why that closed. Okay, so again, the volume might be a little shaky here, but I'm going to wrap up. So there's just a few things to consider in a comparison. So between selling your timeshare, if you're trying to sell your timeshare, keep in mind that then less than 1% resell, okay? And it's probably even less than that. Now, again, thousands upon thousands of listings. It's not that people don't want to visit your property. It's just that they don't want what you're trying to get out. They don't want your maintenance fees. They can go on vacation far, far cheaper these days. Now, there are some benefits, or at least one, if you sell. If you sell your timeshare, yes, you can get out and possibly recoup. Here, let me spell that right. Oh, internet's being slow. Possibly recoup some investment. But again, that is highly, highly unlikely. More so than not, what people end up doing is that they try to list their timeshares for free and realize they don't sell. Then they get scammed into paying a listing company to try to sell their timeshare. And long story short, they end up with that timeshare still not sold. They're out another, probably, anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 in a listing fee, and they're still paying maintenance fees year after year. So they just wind up digging themselves into a further hole. So yes, selling will get you out, and you can recoup it, but it's almost impossible to do so. Okay. Now, there is another way you can get out of your timeshare, and you don't hear it talked about that much, and it's with a simple timeshare transfer. And all this does is basically transfer your ownership of the timeshare. Okay, and when you do this, you are no longer owner and you no longer have fees. And that is specifically what we focus on here, and that's what we specialize in at Free from Vacation Fees.com. Now, okay, what are the benefits of this? Well, you get out now. Okay, you get out. All right. The benefits of timeshare transfer is that get you out, at least provided that you're using a reputable company. Okay. This means no more maintenance fees. All right. Basically, you're out. Now, you're not going to make any money doing that. And in fact, it does cost an upfront fee. And this is where people tend to make a mistake. They want to sell to try to recoup an initial investment, so they don't want to pay anything to get out of their timeshare through a timeshare transfer. But in the long run, let's say that you try to list your timeshare and that doesn't sell this year or next year or the year after. Well, you've just accumulated 3 additional years in maintenance fees, not to mention then that's probably anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 Not to mention that you also might have paid a listing fee to try to get out, which we said you should not do. So there is an upfront fee with trying to transfer your timeshare, but the benefit is that fee gets you out, okay? And again, we guarantee you will get out here at free from timeshare or free from vacation fees. Not to mention, okay, that fee is almost always much, much less than what you will pay this year in maintenance. Let me spell that right one last time. Maintenance fees. Okay. So if you'd like to contact us, all you have to do is fill out the form below, and you'll see it right down there. Let's put it this way: there are no strings attached. We are very good listeners. So any questions you have, we're real good listeners, and there's absolutely no pressure. We get a lot of calls. We have no need to pressure anybody into using our service. But if you're looking for a quick and simple way to get out with an upfront fee, okay, to get out, you're not going to make any money, but you will get out of your timeshare, then this is a solution that you might want to look at. And all you have to do is contact us below using the form.